Welcome everyone to Minecraft Dungeons. Normally in this channel I post Path of Exile stuff, but with the launch of Minecraft on the Windows Store and the Xbox Game Pass, I decided to give it a shot and post my thoughts on it with a review. In today's content, we're gonna go over the game with the goal of concluding whether or not Minecraft Dungeons is worth your time. Now, this video was supposed to come out on Friday the 29th of May. That didn't happen, and there's a reason as to why, but I go over it later down the video. And that reason actually had some impact on my general opinion of the game, so stay tuned to find out what it was. As always, if you enjoyed today's content, be sure to subscribe to the channel, otherwise a rating and a comment help spread it out to the masses. So with that being said, let's talk about the Minecraft that came without mining or crafting. First of all, I'm gonna define what Minecraft Dungeons is and what it offers, through a quick overview of the game, and then I'll move on to my thoughts and opinions on the game. I'll be timestamping the topics of this video in the description below should you want to skip parts of the video. So, Minecraft Dungeons is an action role-playing game set in the Minecraft universe. The game shares the genre with the likes of Path of Exile, Diablo, Torchlight, etc. The game is written in the Unreal Engine 4, unlike the classic game which was written in Java. It pretty much takes everything from the standard Minecraft experience and turns it into a top-down semi-hack-and-slash action RPG, while also bringing in new items and monsters into the Minecraft universe. As a whole, the game is pretty simple in comparison with other games of this genre. There is no passive skill tree, there is no stat allocation, there is no character stat sheet. Nope, none of that. Everything your character has or does is portrayed to their gear and their enchantments. The strength of the gear is tied to power level, not your character's level, and there is no limit or rule that dictates that certain power level can only be equipped after your character achieves certain level. Player leveling seems to be near infinite. Every time you level, it grants you an enchantment point which you can use to allocate enchantments on your gear and weapons. However, in order to get the most out of an enchantment, you need to allocate more points into it until it maxes out. Managing the enchantment points becomes the min-maxing of this game eventually. The available gear, on the other hand, is partially made up of gear that you can craft in the classic game. However, the developers also introduced new weapons and armor that are yet to be seen in the classic Minecraft. At the same time, the gear seems to be divided into two categories: soul-focused and regular gear. Regular gear has no quirks to it, and it behaves just as you'd expect. Soul gear, on the other hand, generates souls on enemy defeats, and then you can use the souls with some enchantments on said gear and some artifacts to deal damage, heal yourself, etc. Unlike the regular Minecraft experience, there is no resource gathering or crafting at all. The only resource that you're gonna be managing are emeralds, which are the currency used to buy stuff from the blacksmith and the wandering trader in the camp. Moving on to the actual game, it has a very simple story and a very short campaign that can be completed in mere hours if you decide to go at a fast pace. If you take the game slow, exploring and experimenting with the gear that drops, then you'll probably take longer to complete the first playthrough. Each mission has 6 tiers of difficulty. Each tier elevates a bracket that affects the power level of the gear that drops. The difficulty is greatly amplified when you're below the recommended power level on each tier. But by playing the game's missions on high difficulty tiers, that is going to allow you to achieve higher power level faster. The game has 3 playthroughs: Default, Adventure and Apocalypse. The last 2 are unlocked once you complete a playthrough on the previous tier, aka you need to finish the game on Default to move on to Adventure, and later to complete Adventure to move on to Apocalypse. Besides those difficulty and playthrough options, the game also has hidden secret levels that are scattered throughout the different missions. 2 of these missions, the Creepy Crypts and Under Halls, are always going to spawn in the respective parent mission. Finally, there is one last mission which is an homage to the secret cow level in Diablo 2. The mission's name is Moo, and it's unlocked by finding the secret runes in each mission, which then need to be placed in the church at the camp. And that is the overview of MC Dungeons. Alright, with that said, I'm gonna talk about the game through my point of view. So first, let's talk about the positive stuff. Personally, I really like the aesthetics of the game. Yes, it is Minecraft and everything is blocky and simplistic. However, I don't know if it's the lighting they used, or maybe the different engine to the standard Minecraft, but the graphics in this game are rather nice to look at. If the classic Minecraft were to get a similar touch to its graphics, I don't think there's anyone out there who will complain. The music is also quite relaxing, and it does fit with the general action RPG, mysterious or darkish tones that the genre is known for. Though whoever made the music for the Evoker miniboss either has a problem with their hearing or they didn't care about the auditory health of the earbud users. The weapons and gear are fun to experiment with, and the new offerings that the game brought into the Minecraft universe are also a nice addition. I say this because I was relieved to find out that the entire loot offering is different to the classic game, aka the leather to iron to gold to diamond armor and weapons. That would have gotten old really fast. Talking about fun with weapons, there's certain gear and enchantment combinations, aka builds, that can get out of hand real fast and lead to deleting bosses and content in seconds. I am glad to see that the developers allow these to exist, and they are not afraid to have them be the highlight, regardless of how OP they may seem. I also really like the addition of secret missions, especially the Creepy Crypt, as that one is my favorite mission in the entire game. Though, personally, I would have liked to see more missions akin to the Creepy Crypt, as it felt like it really captures that dungeon exploring feel that is present in the classic action RPGs like the original Diablo games. And overall, I like that this game remained in-universe as a whole. Music-wise, gear-wise, level design, etc. Everything in the game is stuff that you will expect to find in the classic Minecraft. Of course, some things did have to be added so that the game didn't feel like top-down Minecraft. But everything in the game has a logical feel to it, like nothing is out of place or outlandish. Sure, there's wackiness from time to time, and some things like an Enderman that walks on water, which contradicts established lore, but it's nothing extremely out of place. However, not everything is perfect about the game, and now I want to talk about the things that I didn't like. The first one is that the game is pretty short, and there is no denying that. And there is so much replaying of the same mission over and over that you can do before it starts feeling pointless. One of the biggest offenses it brings to the table is having a coming soon for more activities that they are gonna charge you for. Hell, the first DLC drops in July. If you don't own the Hero Edition, you're gonna have to pay for that content, which isn't a bad thing, but considering how short the base offering is, I am not so sure charging you to have a more complete game is the play here, chief. This also applies to the characters that you can choose from. Unlike the classic Java Minecraft, you cannot create and upload your own skin to use in the game, and they also have some extra skin offerings that you can get if you bought a special edition of the game, which isn't so bad, but it doesn't sit well with me that they're also monetizing something that is a staple of the classic Minecraft experience. The movement is derpy and can get obnoxious very fast. You can get stuck on everything and anything at all times. Even the smallest pixel holds your character running in place. In that same vein, the standard roll is a death sentence. In the key bindings, there's a directional and a forward roll. In my recommendation, unbind forward roll and train yourself to use the directional roll. The forward roll follows the last place your mouse pointer clicked at. This leads into rolling towards enemies, rolling outside the playable area, rolling into a wall, etc. It is obnoxious and, to be quite honest, should not be the standard roll. At the same time, the roll slows you down after using it. This is terrible, because if you're using the roll to dodge attacks, you expect to be mobile and continue your escape. By being slowed down after using it, whatever is attacking you can catch up to you quickly and your roll was worth nothing in the end. Yes, there is gear that fixes the useless nature of the roll, but you shouldn't have to invest into giving the dodge mechanic a functional use. In that same vein, throwing TNT is also derpy as hell. Sometimes it follows the pointer, sometimes you jit the TNT to God knows where. From my own personal experience, there is no way to measure the distance of the throw, and that also makes using TNT not a good idea. As for the actual missions, the random level generation tends to create a lot of dead ends. Now, dead ends aren't bad when you find stuff in them. Things like emeralds, monsters or chests. The problem is that this game generates a lot of side routes that have no functional use, and considering that the game already tells you which path to follow to complete a mission, there is little reason to explore these dead ends. That same random generation makes finding the secret missions, Soggy Cave and Archhaven, a pain in the butt to find. As I am making this video, I have yet to find Archhaven, and I don't really feel like grinding for it. There is also a problem with the gearing system that is very disheartening to experience if you were playing the game a certain way. I'm gonna summarize this point because it is quite the rabbit hole, but it all comes down to, if you equip everything that drops that happens to be a power level upgrade, regardless of how useful it is, you're gonna speedrun your way to the power level cap. On the contrary, if you don't do this, and slowly and methodically equip functional upgrades, aka maintaining some modicum of a build, you're gonna take longer to reach the power cap, and as such you will have a harder time completing missions. And that is because you'll be constantly under the power level requirement. The problem with this system is that in one hand, you're not having a lot of fun because the more powerful gear tends to not be functionally superior to what you previously had, and that is the beauty of our RNG. But on the other hand, you're leveraging the difficulty so much that you'll reach the power cap really fast. This, in turn, is further aggravated when you realize that there is no infusion system, kinda like what Destiny has. So if you find something cool and you want to keep using it, it'll eventually be replaced with something less functional but quote-unquote stronger, and the old item will go into your backpack forever. Since there is no stash to keep the stuff you find, this means that you're gonna clutter your backpack with the useless stuff that is also stealing enchantment points. At the same time, there is no unenchanting your gear. If you screwed up and you picked the wrong enchantment, congratulations, you bricked your item. And if you want your points back, you're gonna have to salvage that piece of gear, and that means waving goodbye to it. Finally, there are some glitches and bugs. Some of them are not that bad, like enemy ragdolls getting stuck on stuff, which is pretty funny. And there are others like your pets falling through the map non-stop, which does get annoying, or you falling through the map, though I only had one case of this happening to me. However, let's be totally honest. Whether I like it or not, Minecraft Dungeons is a child's game. It is a game set in the Minecraft universe. A game series focused on simple gameplay and mechanics that any child can play. Minecraft Dungeons follows that design, having the game be accessible and simplistic enough so that it is not a hassle to the people that it's aimed at. This is why the game doesn't have a complicated skill system or a skill tree or the pressure of min-maxing every single centimeter of your character. It is a game built around the idea of having fun, of exploring and trying out things for fun. Dying is not as punishing, not having a competent build is also not as punishing, and not having the best gear or weapons is also not as punishing. So you really cannot analyze every single nook and cranny looking for things to point out that are not perfect. But before we jump into the conclusion, there is one last glitch that occurred to me, and it's the whole reason as to why the review took until today to come out. Losing your character. What happened to me was that the power went off and that shut off my computer. The character I was playing with had just entered the Apocalypse difficulty. This was early during the day on Thursday. When I came back to my PC, I launched the game and I was greeted with the accessibility and brightness settings, and then it forced me to make a new character because my last one was gone. And I couldn't access the game's folders to try and salvage the character's file because the folder in which the Windows Store apps are stored is locked. Which is pretty stupid if you ask me. Regardless, I had to play through the game again. This is why it took me until today to post a review. So why am I pointing it out? It is an issue that is rather specific actually. Well, you see, this is an online-only game. If I unplug my PC from the network and attempt to play the game, I can't, because it's gonna be stuck trying to log into the servers. Eventually, it's gonna ask me to check my connection before letting me in. Since this is an online-only game, it's rather disappointing to learn that it doesn't have cloud saves. The fact that I had to go through the game twice, because my first character is gone, left a sour taste in my mouth. Now, instead of just posting the review with that problem in mind, I chose to replay the game because I simply couldn't base my opinion off the first two difficulties. The end game for any action RPG is to farm and perfect your character. I had to experience what Minecraft Dungeons offers in that regard. However, that doesn't mean that I had fun running through the game a second time because my first character was deleted. I lost hours of grinding because Microsoft or Mojang couldn't be asked to have cloud saves on an always online game. Because of that glitch alone, I must say that I don't really recommend Minecraft Dungeons at this time. Personally, I'd actually advise paying for a month of the Xbox Game Pass and playing it through there. Or maybe getting the game when it goes on sale. I don't really see the value of the game with the amount of content that it offers right now. And the fact that you can lose hours of grinding thanks to something that is outside your control are enough grounds to not blindly recommend it at this point in time. Now, before I end this video, I know that this is Minecraft, which is generally focused towards kids, and that this is their first foray into the action RPG genre. I know that to a lot of people this is going to be their first experience with an action RPG, and that the global opinion on the game seems to be rather positive. For example, the subreddit is all fun and laughs, because that is what people are getting from the game, and that is perfectly fine. In that vein, do not interpret my review as an attempt to shut down whatever fun you're having with the game. This video is a sum of what I experienced turned into a review giving my personal and honest opinions on the game. If you haven't noticed, I didn't like it that much in the end, but I will follow its development and hopefully it reaches a point where I can have fun with it. In my honest opinion, I think the game is a 6 out of 10. It is decent, it can be a fun experience, but as it stands right now, the game has some issues that really hold back the experience sense in the long run. And with that, we conclude today's video. It kinda got serious at the end, not gonna lie. Regardless, we'll be back to our regular programming for the next video. So if you're new around here and you enjoyed the content, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I normally post Path of Exile stuff, and if you're into that game, be sure to join the channel. Otherwise, a rating and a comment help the video get spread out to the masses. Anyways, thanks for watching tonight's video, and I hope to catch you on the next video. Peace out.